everybody, and welcome to Senior Susie Stamps. I'm Julia, and I'm glad you're here today. I'm getting into my white scrap tray. Now this is all the white scraps that I have in the studio, and it doesn't seem like much, I know, but it's all I've got because I keep it under control. These I'm going to take out because I'm going to do some more sentiments this week for my 9-pocket notebooks, and these are the perfect size for sentiments, so I don't want to do anything else with them but that, so I'm going to set them aside. And so I have a piece here that has some Xyron adhesive on it, and then I have two larger pieces and a few smaller pieces. I thought I had more than that in here, but I have used a few on some cards, and let me show you. First of all, these cards started with these little black centers. Remember 2 weeks ago I did some calendar keepers, and I had 2024 on them. Well, this is the centers out of the zeros. So that's where these cards started from, and I'm going to put a disclaimer out there right now because these cards are just whimsical. They're fun little cards. They're not particularly artistic. I'm sorry, but they kind of crack me up a little bit, and I want to show them to you. So this is the first one, and it's my little mummy. And it uses a 2¼ inch circle punch, and then 3 of these little zero centers. And then I wrapped the black paper in some white copy paper and put my sentiment on it and finished the inside. And here's another one, my little snowman. These are great cards for kids or to make with kids. And kids of all ages, I might add, because they just totally crack me up. But there's all kinds of different ways to do the little eyes and the faces, and so we'll probably make one of these today. One more to show you. Let me show you right quick. And here he is. This is just a little basic happy birthday card. I haven't done anything to the inside yet, but this little guy uses a 2¼ inch circle punch, and then for the body I have used my circle cutter. Now, let me get the package. I bought this circle cutter probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. I don't use it often. And if you had circle dies, nesting dies, that would be the time to pull those out and use them. But I don't have a lot of those, the big enough ones for this. So this is an ever round, perfect circle cutter made by Lion. And you'd have to search for one if you want to get one. But let me show you how they work. There's a little blade in here on this end, and you just loosen this up and drop your blade down. And it doesn't have to come out very far. And the blade is really, really sharp, and I'm not even sure you can see how far that comes out, but it's probably maybe a 32nd of an inch right there. And then the width of your circle is adjustable by pulling out your blade. So I'm going to set that on my zero line underneath this, and I'm going to put my blade at 1¾ inches, and that makes a circle that's approximately 3½ inches around. And let's cut one on a plain piece of paper here. So you just set it on your paper so that your blade will be able to travel around there, and then you hold it down in the middle. And then there's a little arrow that tells you which way to push your blade so that you're pushing against the sharp side. There. And there's my big circle. So there we go. And then I'm going to use my 2½ inch circle punch for my head. And let's make our little snowman today. And I'm going to take my little ovals here, and you could use an oval punch or just hand cut an oval, and that would be fine. I'm going to put 2 of them together because I kind of want these eyes to sort of be the same. And I'm just going to cut it kind of a little curve. And what that will do is to give you the top of the eye. See how that goes? And then one more for the mouth. I want to do my snowflakes, and I need a scratch piece of paper and some ink. And I'm going to use this stamp from Stampin' Up. It's a 1995, but it's got a nice little snowflake pattern for all over stamping. And this is Balmy Blue. And I'm just going to stamp this just in a random pattern. There we go. Both on the head and on the body. There we go. And then I'm going to take my little brush and put just a little bit of ink around the outside of these. Just to give it a little extra depth, and it doesn't have to be perfect by any means. You're just adding a little color so that you have some roundness to this piece. There we are. And then I need a little small piece of paper, and we can just use this corner here. And I'm going to get an orange pen and use my chisel tip, and I'm just going to give myself a little bit of orange for the nose. There. And I'll let that dry. Set it aside for a minute. And I'm going to make the hat. Well, let's finish with our ink first. We'll do the little bit of ink that needs to be done here with this blue. And I'm going to use a piece of scratch paper. And this time I'm going to put it on the inside of the card base. And I have a little piece of torn paper here. I'm just going to do a little background for the inside of for the outside of this card, just to give it a little more sky effect. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but you just want to have something kind of going on there rather than just a plain white piece of paper. I think that's always pretty good when you're doing just a plain background like this. We'll put a few little clouds in here. And most of it will be covered up with the image. And there we are. And then I'm going to take one of those strips of paper that's long enough. Let's see. That's not it. Maybe this one will work. Yep, there we go. And I'm just going to tear. I'm going to tear some snow here. Just a little snow bank to give my little snowman someplace to sit. That's all I'm doing. And I'm going to take a little bit of blue and blue the edge of the snow. And again, this is not much of a background, but it gives it just enough. And these are kinds of things that are fun for kids to do on a rainy Saturday, making a card for somebody, maybe their teacher, or maybe another grandparent, or their mom. I'm just going to put this right down on the edge of that card, and then I'm going to trim it off, and there's the card base ready for my finished snowman. Alright, let's get these out of the way. And somewhere here, I have my black scratch paper. And let's see. Oh, I think that one might make a good hat. And one of these will make the brim. Good deal. Alright, let's see what we got. I think that hat, maybe I'll make it about 1 3/4 inches. And I'm going to take my corner rounder that's 1/4 inch and just do the top corners on it. And then I think I'm going to make it about 1.25 inches high. And the brim I'm going to make 1/2 inch by something. I don't know what yet. These sorts of things kind of have a little mind of their own sometimes. There. So I'm going to put this on here, and then I'm going to cut it back to 1/2 inch on the brim, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to bring this right to the edge and just glue him down where it doesn't show. And there we are. And then I'm going to put this on my 1/2 inch mark and flip it and do the same for the other side. There we are. And there's my hat. So I got the card base and the hat. I'll get rid of this stuff here. Save that little piece of black in case I need it after a while. And let's go ahead and make the face. Now, I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's a little blemish right here, so I'm going to cover that spot up with my hat. Like that, and you'll never see it again. And I'm going to go ahead and put my hat up on a little piece of foam and do that now so I can get it marked where I want to put it. There, so it goes from here to here. And I'm just going to set my hat down there. Right like that. And then I'll build my face in the rest of that space. So let's see. I need an eye and another eye. And I think I need a nose. And I kind of like to make my nose a bit oversized, just to add to the whimsy of it. And then around the end, so here it looks like that, and it's going to poke on out there a ways. And I'm going to add some little black lines to it just to give the carrot a little bit of roundness. It's amazing how once you put a few little lines like this in a carrot, I know that's crazy, but once you put a few little lines on a carrot, it becomes round for you. So here we go, kind of like that. Let's get these eyes glued down. I want to leave enough room underneath my hat for the eyelashes, because the eyelashes are really what makes this little snowman fun. And glue my little nose down. And then I'm going to use a little black pen, and I'm making my head in the way. You know how that rolls. I'm going to start and come out this way, and then I'm just going to bring my little eyelashes off the ends. There you are. And then we've got a little mouth. And I think I'm going to do just a circle punch mouth. There we go. And this is a little 3/8 inch round punch. There we are. And now I'm going to add some white ink to the eyes, and that just adds the detail on these eyes. And a little curve and some dots. And I'm going to put a little snow on top of the nose. And on top of my little hat. And I just make kind of little squiggly lines to do this. And then I'm going to put a little snowflake on. And I have my snowflakes in one of these boxes. And I'll try to leave the link down below for these boxes because they're wonderful. And the reason I like these art bin boxes is because of the latches. That's my main reason for getting these. Plus they have these nice dividers that you can put in however you want to. But here's a little snowflake. Oops. Right there. I'll set my box over there and get it out of the way. And I'm just going to put a little dot of art glitter glue in the middle of that snowflake. And there we are. And now we're going to do the base. And I'm going to bring the head up on another piece of foam. And I'm going to put the base down on the card flat with some glue. I've already got Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas stamped, but I'm going to go back and put some ink around the outside of the edge on that. And I'm going to go ahead and put it up on a little piece of foam as well. Kind of off to the side like that. And put my snowman on. I think he's dried up enough now, my head. And I'm just going to kind of put him where his hat barely is on the card here. And now he needs some arms, doesn't he? And the punch that I like to use for snowman arms is this little leaf punch. So there's the punch, and here's my little arms. All I do is to cut the leaves off. And that works really, really well for little snowman arms if you've got a leaf punch like that. Some leaf punches are not quite substantial enough, and it makes your little arms look like twigs instead of actual branches, just so you know. And these are almost too small for this big snowman body, but it is a whimsical card. And then I'm going to go back and add a little bit of snow to the top of the arms. I forgot it on this one, but I usually like to go back and add just a little bit of snow in here. Doesn't have to be much. You're just giving a little bit of detail. And there we are. And then a little red flower, or a little flower, whichever one I get to first. This one's pink. I don't think pink is going to work. Let me see if I can reach in there with some tweezers. There's a little green one. How about a green one? And a little dot of glue. And that card's done. There we are. So 2 snowman cards. This one has a 4-inch circle and this one has a 3.5-inch circle. Just a little different. Here's my little doggy. And then the original, well, the original 2. So I hope you enjoyed it and that you'll think about making some face cards out of some of your white paper scraps. And I'll talk to you again soon. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.